Level 1, the errand boy. You are 17 years old and you know someone who knows someone. A guy from your neighborhood asks you to deliver a package to an address 3 blocks away. You don't ask what's in it. You deliver it. You come back. He hands you the equivalent of 2 days of honest work for 20 minutes of walking. The next week, he asks again. You say yes. By the 3rd week, you don't wait to be asked. You just show up. That is the first test, and you passed it without knowing there was a test. You run messages. You watch cars. You stand on corners looking like you're doing nothing while actually counting who comes and goes, who arrives on schedule, who doesn't. You learn to read a street the way other people read a book. The man who walks the same route twice in 20 minutes is not exercising. The car parked facing the wrong direction is not lost. The woman sitting in a cafe for 2 hours without touching her coffee is not lonely. You see things now that used to be invisible, and once you see them, you cannot stop seeing them. That is not a gift. That is the first thing this life takes from you without asking. You are not in the organization, not yet. You are useful to it, which is a different thing. Useful things get used and then discarded. Membership has to be earned in ways that cannot be undone. Your mother thinks you are working at a warehouse. Your father stopped asking questions 2 years ago. Your younger brother watches you come home with new shoes and says nothing, but his eyes say everything, and someday you will have to decide what to tell him, but that is later. Right now, the money is real. The respect is real. The danger feels like something that happens to other people, and that feeling is the most dangerous thing about you right now. Level 2, the soldier. Someone vouches for you. That is how the next step works. Not an application, not an interview. Someone already inside looks at you and decides you are worth the risk of their own reputation. Because if you become a problem, their problem becomes your problem, becomes their problem again. The chain of accountability runs in both directions. You are brought into a room. There are men there you have seen around the neighborhood your whole life. Men your father greeted on the street. Men who attended your uncle's funeral and stood in the back and said nothing. You understood even then that they were important, without understanding why. Now you understand why. The conversation is brief. The expectations are clear. You will be given work. You will do the work. You will not discuss the work. You will not ask about work that is not yours. You will not touch money that is not designated for you. You will not make decisions that are not yours to make. The rules are simple because the consequences of breaking them are simple too. Your first real job is collecting. Every week you visit 12 businesses in a designated area, a pharmacy, a restaurant, 2 clothing shops, a car repair place, a bakery, others. You knock on the back door. You wait. Someone hands you an envelope. You say thank you. You leave. You don't open the envelope. You don't count it. You deliver it. That is all. The business owners know what the envelope means. It means their windows stay intact. It means no one harasses their customers. It means if something goes wrong, someone will answer the phone. That is the product being sold. It is called protection, and the word is accurate even if the thing being protected against is largely you. One owner is late, not by much, not maliciously. His supplier didn't pay him, and the math didn't work out that week. You are told to go back and explain what happens when the math doesn't work out. You go, you have the conversation, he pays. You file it away somewhere inside yourself and move on. That is what this work requires. The ability to file things away and move on. Some people cannot do it. Those people do not last. You last. 5 years pass. Maybe 6. Time moves differently inside the organization. It is measured not in months, but in jobs, in problems solved, in loyalty demonstrated across enough situations that the people above you have run out of reasons to doubt you. You are given your own group now, 6 men who report to you. You answer to someone above you, and he answers to someone above him, and the chain goes up further than you can see from where you are standing. But you understand now that the chain is the point. The chain is what makes it durable, what makes it survive the loss of any individual link. Level 3, the viewer. You are a thief in law now, a vor vici zakon, and the title is older than the country you live in. It comes from the prison camps of the Soviet era, from men who built a code inside the Gulag because the Gulag was all the society they were going to get, and that code survived the camps and the collapse of the empire that built them, and it survives now inside you. A set of obligations so deeply embedded that violating them would feel like losing a limb rather than simply breaking a rule. The coronation happens in a room with other Vori present, men who have traveled from other cities, some from other countries. There are words spoken, there are obligations accepted. When it is over, you are different, not because something was added, but because something was finalized. The person you were becoming for the last decade has finished becoming. You no longer collect. You no longer manage collections. You no longer involve yourself in the operational layer if you can avoid it. Your value is not physical, it is relational. You know people. You arbitrate between people. When two factions have a dispute that could become a war, you are the mechanism through which it gets resolved without becoming one. That is worth more than anything a soldier can do, because wars are bad for business, and business is the point. You have a house in a good neighborhood. Your children go to a good school. Your wife knows enough to know she does not want to know more. That arrangement suits both of you. You have friends who are lawyers and businessmen, and local politicians who have accepted your hospitality at dinners and said nothing about where the hospitality came from. Those relationships are assets. The same way a building or an account is an asset, they are cultivated and maintained and occasionally drawn upon. Law enforcement knows your name, not everything, but enough. There is a file somewhere with your photograph in it. You have been questioned twice, both times with lawyers present, both times nothing came of it. You think sometimes about the men who didn't make it here, the ones who died, the ones in prison, the ones who simply disappeared into circumstances that were never fully explained. You don't mourn them exactly. Mourning implies that what happened to them was random. It was not random. They made decisions, and the decisions had outcomes, and you made different decisions, and your outcomes were different. That is what you tell yourself, and most of the time you believe it. The money is a problem in the way that all large things are problems. There is too much of it moving through too many channels, and the channels require maintenance, and the maintenance requires people, and people require trust. The machine feeds itself, and you are the machine now, not a part of it, the machine. Somewhere tonight, a boy who is 17 years old is delivering something to an address he was given by someone he trusts. He is not thinking about where this leads. He is thinking about the money and the respect and the feeling of being chosen, of being seen as someone worth including. He has no idea what inclusion costs over time. He will learn. They always learn. The machine is patient. It has been running longer than any of the people inside it, and it will run longer still. It does not need any particular person. It only needs the next one, and there is always a next one, and that is how it starts, and that is how it never stops.